Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Wednesday, May 27th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher. We're up 0.12%, which is okay. We were up higher, so we pulled back a little bit. But the momentum is still there, and it's really, a continuing tail ride of tech and expectations of of a Middle East peace agreement. We are seeing weakness in oil because an agreement seems to be on is close to at hand, and it seems to have a clause in it that's going to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. That's causing oil prices to move lower. So yeah, the market's still in the green. It's still positive. Today, D.C. You got to look at President Trump. He's scheduled to hold cabinet and policy meetings today. That could be something on the economic calendar. Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index is due out today. In corporate news, we're going to be hearing from CEOs at J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. They're, the CEOs of these three companies, they're going to be speaking at different financial conferences that are going on today, but there could be something there. You want to, keep an eye out for those headlines. Dutch paint maker is rejected a proposal from Nippon and Sherwin-Williams. What else we got? Oh, there's that Computex trade show that's going on next week. Just want to point out that the CEOs from Qualcomm, Marvell, Intel, and NXPI, they're all scheduled to speak at it. That's going to cause some, volatility in the tech space. Shareholders meetings today. We got shareholders meetings going on from ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Meta platforms happening today. On the earnings front, I'm seeing gains in SMTC, CPRI, BBWI, apps, APPS, whereas in Zscaler and PDD are trading lower. After the bell today, we got Marvell, we got Salesforce, we got Synopsys, we got Algient, we got HPQ all set to release. And then tomorrow morning, you got DLTR, you got Futu, FUTO. What else do we got tomorrow? We got Best Buy, BBY, and Hormel, HRL, all scheduled to release. Okay, let's take a look over in Europe and see the action in Europe this morning. We got to start off with the DAX. The DAX was up, like 0.7%, is now pulled back. It's up, 0.35%, but there's still some strength going on in the automakers and industrial shares. London is still positive. We're up 0.09%. It was lower there, but it is turned green. There's, due to weakness in energy and utility names, you got to think about it. Commodity prices are weakening, so that index is very heavily weighted towards commodities. In France, the market's strong. It's up 0.77%. And, luxury goods, automobile stocks, they're all advancing. Strength in the cyclicals is really helping European markets this morning. Then you're looking over at Asia, and Asia was a little bit of a mixed bag. The Nikkei finished flat. It was up, 0.01%. But, Bank of Japan governor was out there, providing hawkish commentary on the upcoming Bank of Japan meeting next month where a rate hike could happen, and that caused markets to kind of pull back a little bit. They finished in the green, but essentially flat. Then you have Hong Kong and China. Hong Kong finished lower by 1.06%, whereas in Shanghai and China finished lower by 1.25%. The key catalyst here was that Chinese regulators hit these online brokerage firms, accusing them of enabling or allowing mainland traders in China to trade markets overseas. Those overseas markets, require specific licenses, and when you don't have them, you're not supposed to be able to trade them. And these three firms were violating that. So it looks like the Chinese regulators are really going to give them a slap on the hand. Then we're turning our attention over to oil prices this morning. And oil prices are lower. We got WTI at $90.66 a barrel. That's down 3.44%. We got Brent trading 97.04. That's down 2.55%. Listen, the possibility of a Middle East peace agreement, that's key. Possibility of reopening the Strait of Hormuz, that's key. After the bell today, we're going to get the API oil estimate, the inventory report. That could be something. That's something to keep an eye on. Okay, let's take a look over at earnings this morning and see what we see. We got to start off with Zscaler. That was the big one from last night. That's ticker Zebra, SAM, ZS. And you look at the stock, it's getting hit. It's down 25% this morning. I mean, they beat by 7 cents. They did it on higher revenue, but those hyperscalers, everybody's expecting, really high expectations from these guys. SMTC is the other one. Symantec, that was the other one that released. Stocks trading higher. It's up 9.86%. They beat by 6 cents. They did it on higher revenue. That looks all good. After the bell today, you get Salesforce.com, ticker CRM, Charlie, Richard, Mary. Their EPS is $3.12. Expected move is 8.55%. Listen, it's a quality company. They have a good revenue stream. They've been delivering earnings beats quarter after quarter. But, the idea that the AI could replace Salesforce is what is killing the stock as of late. But the fact of the matter is, you need data in order to really build this type of program, and without the data, you can't replace it. So Salesforce is not going to be replaced by any AI agent. There's just too much there. Marvell, ticker MRVL, they're also reporting after the bell today. Their EPS is 80 cents, and their expected move is 14.02%. That's something to keep an eye on. Okay, let's talk about economic reports going on today. 10 a.m., Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index. 4:30 p.m., API oil inventory reports. We're going to hear from some Fed speak. Lori Logan just spoke this morning, but at 3:55 this afternoon, we're going to hear from Fed Governor Lisa Cook, and then at 8 p.m. tonight, we're going to hear from Fed Governor Philip Jefferson. He's also scheduled to speak. Okay, let's take a look at the FANG stocks. Amazon's going to invest about 15 billion British pounds into Britain. They're on track for their 40 billion goal. Doing that. Listen, London is their third largest market. Makes sense. Apple and Google warn about encryption services at risk with this Canadian bill that's up for vote. Tesla, April EU car registrations rose by 67%. European Union new car registrations up 67% for Tesla. In terms of Dow Jones 30 News, CEO Jamie Dimon, he's scheduled to speak at an investors conference today at 9 a.m. NVIDIA, the CEO attended a Taiwan headquarters launch, talks about increasing spending in Taiwan to 150 billion a year. They're currently doing about 100 billion a year, so that's a 50% increase. In terms of merger news, Sherwin-Williams and Nippon, they get their bid to take over Akzo Nobel, the paint maker from Europe. That bid was rejected. In terms of guidance, DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods, they backed their full year 2026 EPS view at $13.50 to $14.50. Street estimate is at $14.32. DuPont, ticker DD. They backed their full year 2026 EPS view at $2.35 to $2.40. Now, Street estimate is $2.39, but this is taken into effect after the reverse stock split. Shareholders meetings, Exxon, Chevron, and Meta Platforms all having shareholders meetings today. Okay, let's talk about today's pick of the day. I'm going to go with Braze, ticker BRZE. Boy, Richard Zebra Edward. Earnings are due out after the bell. EPS is 10 cents. Expected move is 19%. Call volume yesterday, 3,315 calls versus 752 puts. Wow. Open interest, 19,065 to 5,374. Positive. Major brokers raising price targets. Major brokers are favorable on the stock. They got buy ratings on the stock, but they have been lowering some price targets, which doesn't surprise me, but I still like BRZE today. But for me to get into it, I want to get in. Low 24. I want to get in 23.90, 24.10, somewhere around there. But that's my tick of the day, BRZE Braze. Earnings out this afternoon. Okay, let's take a look and let's see what stocks are moving in the last 15, 20 minutes today. Iran State TV says it has a draft of the initial, unofficial framework for the memory of understanding with the U.S. It's going to be more reports on that coming out shortly. ADP reports weekly job growth slowed to 35,750 in early May. Yeah, that ADP report has never been really accurate. I mean, we're using it because the jobless claims wasn't there, but it's never been a great piece of data. Rocket Lab, RKLB. Rocket Lab passes SRR review for Space Development Agency. MGM, stocks up 3%. JP Morgan and Truist gives it upgrades. Yeah, the casino stocks are weak right now. They're really cheap. Dick's Sporting Goods sees a $200 million charge in full year 2026 from the Foot Locker acquisition. Taiwan Semi, TSM, CEO pledges 30-plus incentive bump while AI profits soar. Bank of America removed Cigna CI from its U.S. #1 focus list. Let's see what else we got here. Snowflakes are releasing after the bell today. Burlington stores releasing tomorrow morning. Dollar Tree tomorrow morning. Best Buy tomorrow morning. That's all I'm seeing. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about yesterday's pick of the day, which was ticker PDD, Paul David David. I mean, listen, the trade did work out because, on our goal, we're always shooting for 1%. And, you look at this one and, the stock opened up at $95 and fell to $94.50. And I said 94 to $94.50. It fell to $94.50. Then it ran to $97.95 before closing at $96.64. And you look at the stock this morning and it actually traded as high as $98.60 before the earnings came out. And I'm like, listen, you get 1%, take it and walk. And that's a perfect play, especially with this PDD, because it made the 1% a couple of times yesterday and this morning. Earnings came out, not as good. Boom, stock's getting hit. But the 1% was there yesterday during the trading day, so take it and walk away. But PDD was a winner. So traders, you guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green today.